What's up, Flyer Nation? Welcome back to the channel, The Racing Hour, where we get to talk about everything that has anything to do with life and going fast. Of course, I'm your host and resident newbie, and I go by the name of Radio Flyer. All right, guys, so as most of you know, I joined a racing league, and let me tell you, I have gotten my butt kicked every single week. But I figure if I can hone in and tune in my skills just a little bit to get from the back of the pack to the middle of the pack, it would make a world of difference. So how do we do that? So I'm going to rely on AI to help me become a better driver. My goal is to go from qualifying in the back of the pack to maybe qualifying somewhere around mid-pack. I feel like that will give me a better chance of finishing somewhere towards the middle of the pack instead of dead last for 3 weeks in a row. So I'm going to solicit AI and see if they can turn me into an alien. Think AI can do it?
No radio. I can't make you an alien, but I can make you faster.
All right, Flyer Nation. So we've got everything set up. We've got Track Titan loaded up. We've got it configured for Watkins Glen. So now they're telling us we need to jump in and do 5 laps. So we're going to jump in and do 5 laps. And then Track Titan's going to take all of that data and they're going to turn us into an alien. Hopefully. I'll hold my breath on that one. But if they can increase our time, if they can take us from being, you know, an okay guy to being a middle of the pack guy, I would consider that a win. So what we're going to do right now, Flyer Nation, is we're going to jump into Watkins Glen. We're going to let Track Titan know that we're ready to do our thing. And then we will go back and see what they tell us. Let's get it. All right, Flyer Nation. So we just got done with our 5 laps, and we're going to jump into Track Titan and let them coach us to becoming an alien. I like saying that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to unlock our first Track Titan insight. So we're going to click that. All right, Flyer Nation. So that takes us to this page here. And you'll notice a couple of things right off the bat, okay? So it tells us that we ran a 146.9, okay? And then it tells us that this guy here, Mr. McCormick, ran a 142.345. That makes him an alien. I love saying that. And then over here, of course, you see we ran 146.9. We did 6 laps. And we're about 4.5 seconds off of the pace of an alien. Now, this section here is pretty interesting, right? Because you've got all of these different sectors, but the one that's flashing tells you the sector that you're giving up the most time in. So what we're going to do, we ran a 146.9, and in sector 5, we're a second off of the pace. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on sector 5 and see if we can find that second. If we can find that second, that'll put us at a 45.9, which again, isn't quite alien territory, but I think it will make us pretty competitive. So let's click on this and see what it tells us. Boom. Woo. I will tell you this, you have to be ready for the data because it gives you all of it. So the first thing I notice here is it says you lose the most time on corner exit. Focus on what you do differently in this area. And then they give us another tip. You should straighten up more on exit. This will help you apply more throttle on your corner exit. Okay, it's good info. And this little block here, as you kind of go through the corner, it drags all of this data with it. So you can see where you're at in the bus stop and what you're actually doing with your controls compared to the little blue guy, right? Which is the alien. So not only does it tell you where you lose the most time, it also tells you why, okay, and how to fix it. Now, applying that is a completely different story, right? That takes time, practice, and effort. But with this information, at least you know what you have to go practice. So let's take a look at how we take this bus stop and how McCormick takes the bus stop, okay? So the first thing I notice is that there's a huge difference in speed coming up to the first portion of the bus stop. There's about a 35 to 38 kilometer-hour difference before we even crest the curb for the first part of the bus stop. And if I had to guess, if you come down here, you'll notice that we ride our brakes, right? We're on the brakes at about the same time. So we're hitting the braking point. The problem is we're at 100% brake pressure, almost all the way to the curb, and then we fall off, okay? But you'll also notice that about mid-curb, McCormick's back on the throttle and we're not. We're dead pedal, okay? So you'll notice here, he's back on the throttle and we're not, okay? We don't pick up the throttle until we're completely past the second curb in the bus stop, okay? So we're completely past the second curb in the bus stop and we're picking up throttle. He's picking up throttle the first curb in the bus stop and then he's off to kind of get the car rotated around and through the corner. And then he's picking the throttle back up mid curb, okay? And he's flat. He is wide open and flat the entire way through the rest of the bus stop. And you'll notice here, we are not, okay? Because in this section here, where he's getting the car to rotate, we're not, okay? So once he gets back on the throttle, he's wide open throttle through the rest of the bus stop. And we've got a lift, okay? So even though, you know, he's carrying considerably more speed than we are, you know, he's able to stay full throttle all the way through the rest of the bus stop, okay? Now, on the back side of the bus stop, coming around the bend, he's completely off the throttle, again, getting the car to rotate, and you'll notice he's taking a much tighter line. If you look at his line there versus ours, he's taking a much tighter line than we are. We're letting the car drift out, and he's carrying the car right around the crest of the curb, okay? And We're back on the throttle before he is. But the problem with that is we pick up the throttle too early. And when you pick up the throttle too early, you tend to get understeer coming through there. So we've got to drop the throttle again, right? And at this point, you'll notice that we're carrying about the same amount of speed, but coming out of that corner, he's actually carrying more speed than we are, okay? And you'll notice that, you know, we go from, you know, a second difference to 1.07. So we lose almost another tenth on the back side of that bend, okay? But it looks like we're losing the majority of our time right here, coming into the bus stop and mid bus stop, because we scrub off way too much speed, and then we try to pick the throttle up, but we can't, you know, because the car is not in the right position. And by the time that McCormick picks the throttle up, he's flat all the way through, and we have to drop it here in this section. I mean, look at the difference here. So if we look at this part, the difference in our times, okay? So if we're at 0.6, so he's 0.6 6/10 of a second up on us, you know, before he's past the second curb. Holy moly. I'm sorry. He's 0.2 of a second on us before he passes the second curb. And by the time he passes the third curb, he's picked up another 0.3 of a second. So, I mean, it's just a massive amount of time to lose in one section, okay? To lose a full section, you know, in a couple of bends is tough to accept. But what we have to do is we've got to focus on these keys here, right? You should straighten up more on corner exit, right? Which means we've got to change our philosophy in this section of the bend, okay? Godly, man, that's just, there's a massive amount of difference here. Massive amount. So what it looks like we need to do is we need to be not so aggressive on the throttle coming into the turn, into the bend, the first part of the bus stop. We need to carry more speed through the first section here on the right, the first curve here on the right. And then we need to completely come off the throttle, let the car rotate slightly, get back on the throttle to settle the car, okay? If you notice, we don't touch the throttle here at all, but get back on the throttle to settle the car down, and then come back off the throttle to flatten it out so we can get all of our rotation done here, and pick up the throttle about midway past that second inside curb and just flatten it out all the way to the bend. And once we get to the bend, we can lift just a tad bit, okay? So if we do that, if we change that philosophy in driving, we should be able to pick up pretty close to a second. So we know the assignment. Track Titan has told us what we need to do, Flyer Nation. All we have to do is take the knowledge and information that they've given us and apply it. Let's get it. All right, guys, let's try it. Cross the start finish line, 5th gear. We're gonna get to the 200 hard on the brakes. Down to 3rd gear. Run that as tight as we can through there. Back on the throttle early. All right, guys, let's go up the hill. 4th gear. 5th gear. 6th gear. On the brakes hard and early. Down to 4th gear. Back on the throttle through here. Tight through here. Wide open throttle. We picked it up, guys. We got some time. 4th, down to 3rd. Get the car turned in. Back on the throttle. Wide open. All right, guys. Up the hill. Third, second, get the car turned in, back on the throttle. Hard, down to second, get the car turned in, back on the throttle. Hard, down to second, get the car turned in, throttle. Up to four, car turned in, wide open. Third gear, get the car turned in again, wide open. All right, Flyer Nation, so we did it. We jumped into Track Titan and we gave AI complete control over coaching us and making us, yeah, we're not an alien, a better driver. It's pretty interesting to see that, you know, based on their assessment of what we were doing wrong, we were leaving a full second in a small portion of the track, right? So when you lose a full second in less than 3% of the total track, that's an area that you just have to focus on. So what we did was we jumped in and we decided to go apply all of the things that they told us to apply to see if we could find that second. And guess what, Flyer Nation? We did. We actually got a 145.6, and man, let me tell you, it wasn't easy, because there's one thing to know the information, it's a completely different thing to apply it. But what we did was we stuck to it, we decided to focus on it and give it everything we had, and we were able to do it. So now we're in that 145 club, and we are pretty pleased with that club. So we've actually got a league race coming up, and hopefully with the help of AI, we can actually qualify somewhere in the middle of the pack. Usually there's about 30 guys on the field, in the field. We typically qualify somewhere in the 23, 24, 25 range, the back of the pack. But there's a lot of talented guys that's driving in that class. And, you know, we're just looking to move from the back of the pack to somewhere around mid-pack. So hopefully, with the help of Track Titan and AI, we can make the leap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice a little bit more, and I'll see you guys at race time. Let's get it. All right, Flyer Nation, we have just jumped into qualifying for our endurance race. It's a 60-minute race. Pit stop is a must at Watkins Glen. So we've got 4-minute wait time, and we're gonna jump into qualifying and see how we do. But from what I can tell, we've got a pretty competitive field, so we're ready to get it, guys. Chance right here, guys.
I'm going to point the camera to Love here. And the Ferrari getting chased by, I believe that That doesn't look like Ross O'Connor. What did we just witness? It looked like Love was about to run out of the track. And he saved it. Who is behind him? I'll be honest. Got a mystery driver out on the field. Oh, that was Kyle Busch. I am fairly certain I got a new livery submission by Mr. Bush here. And I'm also fairly certain that it should be showing up, but it is not. Regardless, though, he is a 3 and up on his pace. Qualifying is over, so if anyone else is out on the field, this will be the absolute last chance to set up a good lap. Give yourself a good starting position. We are 60 minutes in Watkins Glen.
There we go, guys. That's our lap. Let's see where it puts us. 14th. We're 14th, guys. 14th on the grid. We'll take that.
So, how do you like Watkins Glen?
I
Your
love
thoughts?
this track. I love this track.
Okay.
It's one of those that I feel like I've got decent pace at, but it's honestly one of the few that I could stay clean quite a bit at. I've had some trouble in my previous series, just how bad I've been at staying clean. Oh yeah.
To everyone who is watching us live or on YouTube in the after show or the after upload, whatever, this is Daniel Hirsch.
What is up, guys? It is nice to hop on with you guys. It's always good to talk with you on.
Likewise, always fun having you here. We're gonna go down the grid because we have a lot of drivers to get through. A lot of
1 minute.
liveries.
1 minute. Let's make it happen.
Oh my god. Thiago Denarte, he's in P1. Very nice. Chandler Williams, P2 in a murdered out Mustang. Almost murdered out. Looks very menacing there. Albert Tranchisi, P3. He's trying to stop Denarte's win streak here. Christopher Greider right behind them. Actually quite surprising to me. For whatever reason, I remember him being more towards the middle of the pack, but now he's at the very top, so hell yeah, we'd love to see it. He's in P4. Chris Unfair landing himself in P5. Sam Staples, P6. Pierce Hanley, P7. Regina, P8. Right behind him, we have Jonathan Kelly, P9. We have Jeff Spangler, P10, and a sick-ass livery. Love it. Kyle Busch,
Dragon.
P11. Yeah, the dragon is nice. Professor Chronotis,
Oh, he's in Trackalicious. I know him.
That is a sick ass name.
Yeah.
Sounds fake,
he's
but
pretty cool.
he's in P12. Greg Landry, P13. Damn, the race is about to start.
We gotta get on it.
Luke Breadlove, P14. Joshua Worley, P15. And Jeff Kelly, P16. We're speedrunning. Brian Barkin, P17.
And we're off,
Dixon
guys.
Hurst, P18. Brad Tarnow, P19. Spade P20. How is turn 1 gonna go? Hopefully
Like
clean.
it stays clean in the front. Staples went a little wide, but he's going side by side with it looks like Hanley.
There was just so much action. Who do we point the camera to? We're gonna keep it on
Oh,
Staples.
side by side through the bus stop with Hanley and Gienna maybe. Oh, and he cuts him off.
What a move. We have Albert Tranchisi going wide, slams into the wall.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that one. I was trying to go down the grid.
Manages to keep it on track, but he does have a little bit of damage on the right side. And hopefully that won't impact his steering.
Oh, here in the back, you got blitz kick and scissor on side by side through what is that, Spoon? That's the
Toe?
wrong track. The toe.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
they're in the boot. We got a Bliss Kid's POV here, or we're pointing the camera to him.
Okay. Mercedes looks pretty nice. There's a double overtake with Barklands, Kelly, and oh, he's going way down the grid. What happened to Worley?
Worley just spun out. I'm not quite sure on that.
I'm watching him right now. He's in the Porsche, right?
Yeah, he's in the Porsche.
Yeah. Okay, I'm 30 seconds back. I'll let you know.
Is that a... Who had that sick livery? He's now with Worley. Is that Jeff?
Oh no, he just kind of gets close to Mercedes next to him, and they touch. Kind of looked like a racing incident to me.
Trekalish just said, is that a Hirsch I hear?
That is a Hirsch.
That is a Hirsch.
That is a
Welcome
Hirsch.
to 11 Fire Nation. 11th
What is
place.
up, Trackalicious?
Ooh, Albert's-
Oh, who was that? That just went off. Was that Albert?
That's Albert. He is not having a great race right now.
Oh, he's going back to
Oh, right
to
behind.
pits, isn't he?
He might be. Oh, I think he just.
Didn't you just tell everyone not to dip out?
I mean, no penalty. You're allowed to leave. You can exit the track at any time.
I'm telling you, Juan, you gotta throw down the gauntlet with that one.
We're gonna point the camera over here to Lev, who is gonna be sandwiched. He had Jeff Kelly right behind him and a train in front of him. Greg Landry getting overtaken.
Goodness, almost three wide
Again,
there.
oh my god.
That is a tight battle right there. I'm watching, it looks like Denarde is taking a peek on the inside for turn one, but nothing going. Those Mustangs are staying out in front there.
Those Mustangs are... There's something up with them. They got the power, they got the pace, they got the traction. I want to be like them when I grow up.
Right? We never thought that was going to be a sentence.
We're gonna point the camera to Ryan Barkins, who looks like tries to make a dive on Greg Landry into the bus stop. Not able to completely get that through.
like his Bush Light livery. That thing's pretty sweet.
Miller Lite.
Miller Light. My bad. No Bush lattes over here.
If they do want to sponsor us, though, we can potentially put a livery on that.
Hey. No, we'll take it.
We will take it. Sam is.
What happened to Breedlove? Looks like he went down quite a bit.
Where is he? P11. We're gonna keep an eye on that while we watch Sam Staples try to get around Chris Unfair. Thiago Denarte also trying to get around Chandler Williams. This is the battle. Right now we're watching the battle for P3. We're gonna jump real quick and check out the battle for P1.
P1, all right.
They're about to head into the bus stop, and bus stop shenanigans are at an all-time high tonight.
Aren't they always?
True.
Oh no! Oh no!
Local news.
All right, Flyer Nation, that was clearly not the result that we were looking for, but I'll consider that a moral victory. If I had to describe our race, I would say it looked something like this. Guys, unfortunately, what happened to us is called racing. We were looking to qualify better than we had ever done in the past, and I think we accomplished that. We went from back of the pack to 14th on the grid, and that's 2 classes. That's gold and silver racers. So I would consider that a moral victory. Unfortunately, once we got to racing, we moved up from 14th to 11th, and we were actually competing for a top 10. And then tragedy struck. The 2 guys that were in front of us, they got tied up in the bus stop. Unfortunately, we had nowhere to go, and it cost us our race. We tried to come back, but we just retired the car and called it a night. But thank you to Track Titan. Thank you to AI. What we learned helped us tremendously. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply that next week. And guys, look out, because we're coming for you. Let's get it, Flyer Nation.